So welcome back. I want to do a segment today on the closed tote for a joiner plane. But it's also going to be a closed tote for any other plane that requires the ability to operate it with a handle like this. So let me get into how I copy it. First thing I did with this one, and this is the original that I copied, I've made, I think, 5 or 6 closed totes based off this design. So I like using templates that are made out of light duty cardboard. So what I did with this one was I placed the plane on the bench. I got some light duty cardboard. This is what I ended up with. So I like to have 1 inch of material underneath the tote when I build them. So I struck a line and made the 1 inch line above the straight edge of the cardboard, and I placed it under the plane so it was in line with the top of the plane. And then what I did, and I clamped this so it wouldn't move. So I got the cardboard underneath it. And then what I did was I placed a piece of steel above the tote. And then I took the combination square and I projected the inside edge of the combination square directly onto the face of the cardboard. And then with a sharp pencil, I reach under the tote and I make a mark. And I went all the way around the outside of the tote, made marks about 3/8 of an inch apart, something like that. Then I also did the inside of the tote. Same thing. And the piece of steel enables you to keep a square line off the surface of the tote, because these are all irregular surfaces. They're rounded over and they're kind of small. There's really no place to put the square. So the steel helps you hold it in place. Same thing on the inside of the opening. Trace all that out. It's pretty easy gimmick to trace an irregular shape. And then what I was left with was, you can see there's a little remnant of the little marks about 3/8 of an inch apart. I connected all those, knifed this out. So this is my master template, and it's full size off this tote. Now a little bit about totes. This is what I call a 4-finger tote. It's a closed tote as opposed to the kind that would come off of like a jack plane or something like that, where there's no front part. Okay, so it's only intended that you're going to get basically your thumb around the outside, underneath the horn and around the horn, and then 3 fingers inside the tote, and the 4th finger is going to remain outside. So I call this a 4-finger closed tote. And so then what I do, I'll put this to the side. So now with this template, what I have done in the past is I made a handle out of 1 block of wood. And I'll show you what that looked like. That's this one right here. This was spalted maple. So in the back here, this is the continuation of that 1-inch block that I leave attached to the tote, and I let that in with a big mortise. So this is all one monolithic piece through here, and came out real nice. I did this about 6 or 7 years ago. There's no problems with it. Looks real good. So, and I'm happy with it. But what I also did was I made another plane, and I wanted a larger tote. So what I did was I scanned this with a scanner, and then I opened the image that the scanner produced in the browser, and I enlarged it to, like, let's say 114%, and I was able to produce an image that was slightly larger. So if you compare the two, you'll see the other one is bigger. So then what I did was I put a piece of white typing paper over the computer screen, traced it, cut that out, and then traced that tracing onto the light duty cardboard. And then from this template I made a laminated tote that I'm able to get 4 fingers in, and this was on a very large molding plane, and I integrated the tote into the plane because it's very difficult to push, and I felt I needed a good grip on this to push it. So the other thing that I did with this tote was I used scraps, and this is basically like just a laminated tote through here. I've been generating scraps, and I feel there's really no need to throw those away, and the tote came out fine. So I have 2 totes prepared. These are the full size, not the enlarged size. So this is going to be a tote for a joiner plane, and you can see I kind of drew that out a little bit, and the rest of this will be all thrown away. This was cut-offs from a chair project. Now I also have another tote ready, which is going to be for the core box plane, and as you can see here, I struck a line, and that's going to be the bed for the iron. So there is no shape. This section of the tote is not going to be part of that blank. It's going to just come from here and go straight down and become the bed for the iron. So these are starting to get kind of beefy, and for the block of wood and the material that I would need to cut out of a log, this would be enough material to make another molding plane. So this is really a good reason to use the composite technique that I have. So these have all been traced out. What I do is I just bore a hole through here in the middle, and then jigsaw all this out. This cut I will do on the compound miter box and all the other machine work, and then from there, and of course jigsaw the outside as well. And then what I do is I shape everything and smooth it. I do all that work by hand, and then with a 1/2 inch router bit I round over the inside of the handle as well as the outside of the handle, and that would be right in here where you grip it with your fingers, and then back here where you grip it with your palm. So this is 1 inch thick right through here. So the 1/2 inch quarter round eliminates all the flat spots back here. And then what you have to do is stop the cut obviously down through here and bring it up through here, and then stop it up here, and then blend it into the area where you can no longer put the full 1/2 inch radius through here. And same thing on the inside. So you're going to come up through here, stop it, come up through here, stop it again, and then blend all this in. And this can be just slightly rounded over or left almost square. Your hand is not in contact with this. And you just want to mind that you don't keep this part too thin or have any weak grain through here, because this will fracture. And then on the top, you can just play with this, round it over. Don't make it too delicate, because these will fracture as well. There's plenty of the old planes where that section of the horn broke off. So what I'm going to do is going to do all that work off camera, and then the next time you see these totes, they will be shown in the projects that they're dedicated to. But I'm not going to film or discuss any other aspects of the closed totes from here on in. That's pretty much how I make them. That's how I copy it. That's how I enlarge it. And that's how I recommend that everybody else does it. So there's really not too much else to talk about the closed tote. Everybody stay strong. We'll see you on the next one.